Good morning. Unit expressions and equations, student handout number 8. There one lesson after this, so there is one lesson. All right, we're going to learn how to write equations. So these are basically word problems. Your favorite. Which days are the strongest? Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays. I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something bad is going to happen. I can just feel it. All right, here we go. Today's notes. Read each situation on the left and write down what is happening mathematically on the right. So on the left, it says Wendy and Kingston are constructing a sandbox. They cut a piece of wood into 4 equal parts. So what are we going to have to do math-wise? Well, they are cutting apart So what do you think we're going to have to do? So we are going to have to do what? Divide, because they are cutting it apart. So they are cutting apart stuff. So we're going to have to divide. And the next one, Miss Thomas has money in her bank account. She goes to the store and spends $50. So she is spending $50. So we are going to have to, when you spend money, that is what? Subtraction. So we're going to have to subtract. So there's key words that tell us. In the first one, cutting apart, that told us divide. And the second one, spending, that means subtraction. That's not good. So there's key words that we look for. What are those key words? Let's discover some. So we're going to use the table below to review different synonyms, which is different words, for mathematical operations. Then we're going to use these keywords to help us write and solve the following real-world problems, aka word problems. All right. So I'm going to pause the video and let you tell me some of these words, and then we'll come back and write them in, okay? All right, pausing now. Welcome back. Here's some words that we should have picked up on top of some of the things that you already said. When we talk about adding, one thing we could have, let me take my eraser off, is more than. Another one is increased by. Some. Gain. All together. Total. In all. Combined. Give you a second to write those. While I do, let's get another joke. What's blue and not very heavy? What is blue and not very heavy? Light blue. I got a friend. He claimed that he glued himself to his autobiography. I don't believe him, but that's his story and he's sticking to it. What's brown and sticky? A stick. All right, subtract. We have less than, decreased by, difference, loss, fewer. All right, multiply times each per product twice. Twice means times 2. Divide? No way. No way. I'm not rewriting those. Y'all are just out of luck. I'll pause the video if you need them. All right. Quotient. Shared equally. Half. Split. And sometimes per. So per can be multiply or divide. Equals is same total. Well, that really don't go there. Mark total off. I'm changing my mind. Because you got to add or subtract or whatever, so I'm taking that off. All right. We're going to read the situations below to complete the graphic organizer showing what is happening and what operation should be used. I went to the aquarium this past weekend, y'all. I didn't stay very long. There's something fishy about that place. I gave my handyman also this past weekend. I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did the jobs 1, 3, and 5. And I called him and I said, "Why'd you only do jobs 1, 3, and 5 on there?" And he says, "I only do odd jobs." All right. Number 1, Miles and Ella have an equal number of stickers. They find blank more stickers, which brings the total number of stickers to blank. How many stickers do Miles and Ella have? Okay, the reason there are blanks is because it don't care about the numbers. It don't want you to work out the numbers right now. It wants you to find out what it's asking. Okay, so let's reread the question. Those blanks mean there's numbers. Miles and Ella have an equal number of stickers. Equal. So they both have the same amount. They find blank 2 more stickers, which brings the total number of stickers to blank. So what do we need to add or do? All right, so it says Miles and Ella's stickers. What do we need? What is the operation that needs to go right there between those? Let's reread the question. They have an equal number of stickers. They find, so find means we need to do what? And it brings the total number. Look up there where it says total. It says it under add. So the 2 keywords are find, which we're going to circle these, in total. That tells us to add. And brings the total number of stickers to blank. So the stickers they have plus the ones they found equals the total. What do you call a sheep who can sing and dance? Lady Baba. Number 2, Josie deposits blank $2. It doesn't, just putting in a blank for a number into his lunch account. He spends $2 for each lunch. He now has a balance of $0 in his account. How many lunches has he purchased? Well, to figure that out, we have to figure out his lunch deposit, because we got to know how much he deposited, right? So his lunch deposit minus the cost for each lunch, because anytime you spend money, cost, right? That's subtraction. Cost of lunch equals his lunch balance. Once we figure out what his lunch balance is, we can figure out how many lunches he purchased. So the key words that we need to circle is not that blank I circled up there. Let's erase that. Keywords. Spins. It's too big. Spins. That tells us we're subtracting. All right, we're going to use the keywords to help us set up and solve an equation below. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assign you, you're going to work in groups, and I'm going to give you each a problem, and then we're going to come back and work it. All right, I'm going to pause now. Welcome back. All right, here's how you work each one of them. A freight company charges $1.45 per pound. That is $1.45 per, which means multiplication, in this case, per pound. So that is $1.45 times something. So $1.45 times something. So that's something. That's one thing I'm going to use. All right. Plus, I think there's a plus there. Keyword. We're going to add something to that. $3.25. So it's $1.45 times something plus $3.25. A customer is charged $9.05 to ship a package. So that was the total. So where do you think that's going to go? Over there on the other side of the equal sign. So let's start it. Hang on. Charged. And the last thing we need to know, what are we looking for? How many pounds? And that is right there. How many pounds? So what do you think pounds is going to be? So now let's go back and draw the problem. All right, well, I told you we had 145 times something per pound. Pound was in red, so that's X. because that's what we're looking for. Whatever we're looking for is X. So 145 times X. So instead of writing the times X, I just write it next to it because we know that means multiplication. And then I have plus 325. And then in yellow, it all equaled 905. Now let's solve the problem. Undo the addition or subtraction first. That's the plus 325. Undo it. When I undo that, those go away. I'm left with 145x equals I don't know, 9.05 minus 3.25, 5.8. And then the last step is to get rid of the multiplication or division, which in this case is multiplication. So I'm going to divide by division. I'm going to divide. And I'm left with x equals 4. So how many pounds did the package weigh? 4 pounds. That is your answer. Okay. Number 4. A tenant. Bless you, coach. All right. A tenant is charged $850 for rent. Charged on the 5th of the month. For every day they are early, they can deduct $15. So they can deduct every day they're early, they can deduct $15 from their rent. The tenant paid, which is a total here, it's the total here. The tenant pays $805. How many days early? Early days. Oh, me. Excuse me. Did they pay the rent? All right, so let's go over here. Kind of zoom out where I can still see both. All right, we know that rent is $850. We know that. It's what it cost. But if you pay it early, you get to deduct, which is subtract. You get to deduct $15 per day. So that's multiplication. So that's 15 what? Times X. How do I know X stands for days? Because down there at the bottom green right there, it tells us what X is. Whatever it's asking for is X. So how many days? That's X. Days are X. So it tells us up here in the green, every day, which is X, they can deduct $15. That's 15 times how many ever days. And then we know the total that she ended up paying, or he paid, or whoever it was $805. So now we're going to do the math. Undo the subtraction or addition first. So we're going to undo here. Those go away. I'm left with negative 15x equals negative 45. The next step is to divide by negative 15 because you have to undo that multiplication. Those go away. I'm left with x equals 3. 3 days is the answer. 3 days. All right, number 5. Jordan pays $12.50 for a ride-sharing membership. Pays for a ride-sharing membership, lowering his fee to $150 per ride. And then the total in March, he spent $39.50. Okay? How many rides did he take? So there's X. Rides, blue is X. You see it? So he paid $12.50. Oops, my bad. He paid $12.50 plus $1.50 per ride, which is 1.50x, equals the total, which was $39.50. Now I'm going to undo the addition or subtraction first, which is $12.50. And I'm left with 1.50x equals, that would be $27. And I'm going to divide by 1.5. And I'm left with x equals 18. So the answer is 18 times. Okay. Jung purchased several video games priced at $29.95 each. And he paid $5.95 for shipping. His total was $18.65. How many video games did he purchase? Video games. All right, so it's $29.95 each for each video games. What do we not know? Video games. How many he bought? So that's going to be X. So it is 29.95x plus the shipping equals his total, which was $185.65. Undo your addition or subtraction first. Those go away. You're left with 29.95x equals I don't really know. 185.65 minus 595 is 179.70. Divide by 29.95. And you're left with x equals 6. So the answer is 6 video games. Six video games. All right. Milo is 5 inches shorter than his brother Jace. Milo is 42 inches tall. How tall is Jace? All right, there's our 3 variables. The only number, Milo is 42 inches tall. That's the one thing we know. So it's going to be equals 42. We know that Milo, which is not X, because Jace is X, because he's what we don't know. So Jace is X. Milo is 5 inches shorter than Jace. So X, which is Jace, minus the 5 inches that is Milo, shorter, equals Milo's height. So how tall is Jace? 47 inches. We know that, right? But let's go ahead and do it mathematically. Undo the addition or subtraction. You're left with x equals 47. And that is the answer. Amigos, 47 inches. And the last one of the day, write a real-world solution that could be represented by the equation. 75 plus 25x equals 300. So here's an example that we could write. Coach Spartman, let's just call me Sparkles, has $75. That takes care of that in my bank. I spend, all right, let's go, I deposit. Let's do I deposit. $25 each week. That takes care of the 25x because it's 25 each week, which means 25 times x. And then the question would be, after how many weeks would my account be at $300? And then the variable is number of weeks. All right, y'all. That's all the fat guy in the back wrote. Until next time, we'll see you.